Hello everyone, Strikoder here and welcome back to a new episode of the OSCP journey. Today's video we are solving SecNotes from HackTheBox, which is a Windows medium machine, and we will start by using SQL injection to bypass the login page and access nodes that leak useful credentials. From there we will upload a simple PHP web shell and move to a reverse shell connection. Once we have a foothold, we will explore privilege escalation through Windows subsystem for Linux and extract hashes from history, and finish with a pass the hash attack and get in the authority system. So let's get started. First of all, I'm gonna take the IB and fire up HackTheBox sudo VPN and make export all the IB to export to all Tmax panels, and I'm gonna start with pinging the IB. So it's pingable. And over here, I'm gonna run Nmap. So we have 445, port 80. So let me open Firefox over here. Since we have port 80, and I probably like to start with, let me close those, with the SMB, but today let's change it a little bit. So we had a server connection error because I was connected to Burp Suite. So we have a login page. Alright. So probably we can, no, I changed my mind. Probably we can use the credentials that we enumerate through SMB to use them in the login page. So let me make a new directory. Make directory home retired, and what was the machine name? SecNotes. cd into there. Alright, cd into there. And let me start from here. So if you don't know already, we have a script for enumerating SMB. So you just provide the IB and it enumerates under the hood through RBC client, SMB client, netexec, and Nmap, of course. So we're still scanning. I shouldn't run that because it ran Nmap under the hood as well, but probably nothing more interesting. So let's check over here. Do we have anything related to the framework used or the web framework? So here we see don't have an account. We can register at PHP. So we need to make directory as well. Let me do that. So FUF, and I would start with files, probably. Wait, what? Something is wrong. So let me check. 1010. Yeah, that's correct. So it's not running. Let me check if I choose another file. So medium, not that. Directory list to medium. So it finishes. Probably I have an issue here. Okay, I got that because I removed fuzz. Probably you got that while watching me. And here we got an issue. Okay, that's okay. Here we're running all the netexec. So probably we don't have null authentication or guest authentication. Yeah, it was denied. We're still trying. And here we have the register. So let me move like this, probably like that, and remove the view. So I got that wrong. Yep, I got that wrong. Like this. And we have a sign up. Alright, so we had 2 pages. So here nothing is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna stop that. We couldn't enumerate the password policy, we couldn't enumerate the username, and probably enough for Linux and SMB map would be useless as well. So I'm not gonna check that. Let me check the FUF. Still nothing interesting over here. And Nmap we have 88 8808. Let me check that. Is it HTTP? We're still scanning that. So let me be faster than Nmap. So we have IIS, which is a good thing. I'm gonna fuff that as well. So I'm gonna pause a little bit until fuff finishes, then I'm gonna enumerate again using other fuff. But now it's gonna be here for this port. And over here it's gonna be the same but using the medium files. So here we use the directories. Here I'm gonna run again using the files because I sometimes miss some files using this directory stuff. Okay, meet me then after enumeration. So I'm finished with scanning, and as you see, nothing interesting over here, neither on port 8808. So probably in real world scenario, I would be focusing on the web while scanning and fuzzing at the same time. But here I prefer this approach because it's better to save time. I don't want the video to be more than 2 hours or 1 hour. And over here I'm copying the Nmap results. So we have 80, 445 SMB and 8808 the IIS that we saw. And probably that's it. So our way in is gonna be those absolutely either the sign up or login. So we need to launch Purple Suite. Next, start perp. And I will try to sign up with a normal user, check the functionality of the website, then I will try probably SQL injection or changing the post to GET request and the other way around, or I will try to add more fields and check what would have. So let me try to capture that. So sign up, Strikoder, capital A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, capital A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, and send that to repeater. So confirm password, we don't have any more fields. Forward. In real world scenarios, you would test that as well with race, check-in, and with a lot of stuff, with business logic as well. So if you are taking the PT1 soon, be sure to check those attacks. Let me get that. And Strikoder, ABC 1, 2, 3. Login, and here we have PHP session ID. Alright, let's forward that. Nothing interesting, forward that. So let me drop that. I'm gonna stop the interception for now. We have update password. I clicked that by mistake. So we got hacker detected. That interesting. I didn't tried anything yet. So due to GDPR, all users must delete any notes that contain personal identifier identifiable information. Please contact Tyler SecNotes. Okay, we have a username to start with. So if this was an Active Directory machine, I would almost immediately start with kerp roasting or asrep roasting, and let me copy that into our notes. So let me delete those. We can try nuclei, but not now. SNMP check, I don't believe we have something related to UDP in this machine. Okay, now Notion is hallucinating. And over here, I'm gonna add Tyler. And here we have new node, change password, sign out, contact us. So let's start from contact us. It's gonna lead us to contactus.php. Let's see what's there. And we have a message. All right. So I would like to start with message, ABC, and send. What do we have here? Let me make that bigger. So we have submit and send. Let me send that to repeater. And from here, I'm gonna send that to Turbo Intruder. So what I usually do once I see such a thing, I would start with sending that as get. Probably nothing is gonna happen. Let's check the render. Do we have anything? And probably not. Yeah, let me check again. So if we send that, do we get any message? Let me drop that and check over here. Resend. So I'm gonna send to Tyler ABC123. And we receive message sent with redirection. Okay, that's great. So yeah, we see follow redirection over here. So probably here all of our stuff would be useless. So for instance, let's try with submit. So what we are trying over here, I'm trying to replace the %s with the stuff that I have here in my code. If you are interested with this code, check my GitHub. It's on GitHub as well. So mode number 2 is for numeric values. I would change that into word lists. And probably I'm gonna, so it's a Windows machine, probably I'm going to select the second one. And let's check if we can read Windows any or anything interesting. I was still going? Nah, completed. So probably all of them are a redirection. 302. So not that helpful. Next thing I would try is leaving this and trying like this with s equal value, and I'm gonna choose per parameters dataset. Are we getting? Yeah. So probably our way it's not through here for now. So let's go out. We're already out. So we have change password, new node, and sign out. So I would leave change password and sign out to later, and let's make a note. I would like to turn the intercept on to check what we are doing over here, and the title is gonna be ABC123. So we see a post. I'm gonna send that into repeater, Control R, and from the repeater it's always 302, which is frustrating. We can't do anything really. Okay, home. So we see our notes over here. So probably it's an XSS. I mean, we can try XSS for fun, right? So let me grab my notes. And here are my XSS notes. because I don't remember the syntax. And I'm gonna start with this. Let me take that again. Let me remove this. So with remove, we have action delete. So as I did over there, we can enumerate all the parameters that we can do here, or LFI, or IDOR, for instance, to delete stuff from other users or to read them. So there are a lot of stuff to try, but most of them won't lead you to an RCE. They are more beneficial as a bug bounty hunter. And let me try to create a new node. So I'm gonna turn off the intercept. So we see we have a reflected XSS. Yep. So easy peasy. Not deleted. Okay. So probably with nodes we have nothing to do. Let's check change password. So maybe we have hidden field to select the user. So to create another user, or the ID, it would be ID1 for administrator. So ABC, ABC. And we have password ABC, ABC, submit. And we are making a post request to change password. So I'm gonna send that repeater and press forward. What's gonna happen? Password didn't match at least 6 characters. So let's try over here with get request. Do you see anything interesting? Nah. So for now, nothing interesting. Let's cancel that and sign out. So probably I should test it sign out as well, but I don't think that's our way in. So I'm gonna sign in again and bring my notes again and check the SQL injection, the methodology, and I'm gonna start with the polyglot with sleeping for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna make a username for that, password for that, submit password. So we see there is no sleep for 5 seconds or whatsoever. So that's not a SQL injection. We can check by SQL map, but that's not a SQL injection variable field. Let's try to log in over here by that. So we see it's variable to SQL injection because it's checking in the database and the input is not sanitized. So probably that's our way in. So since the polyglot worked, I'm gonna use the hint that I have in my notes. So you can see we've signed in as sleep. I'm gonna use my notes with the username's password. So I'm gonna start with let's sign up. No, I'm not gonna check that. So we have reset. Proper reset doing nothing. So let's get back to here. So password is gonna be ABC123. I'm gonna leave that so in order to be reassured if we are signing as Strikoder or not. And first of all, I will try admin, default credentials, not correct. 123456, the same password that found on McDonald's. Not that, okay. So what can we do as well? Administrator, since a Windows machine. Admin. Maybe Tyler. Admin. Tyler. Password. No. Now we are going to try some SQL injection. Tyler. Then a single apostrophe. Or a single quote to be more precise. Or 1 equal 1. ABC123. No account found with that name. So probably because we haven't had our command. So to do our command, we would need probably like this. and ABC123. Still no. I think maybe if we had like this. No. Let me remove Tyler from here. ABC123. Still nothing. Let me add maybe like this. So I'm not sure what SQL database we have here, so I'm going to remove the comment. Still not correct. Maybe if I remove this, we need a password. No account found with that username. Okay, so we can test through perp as well. Let me do like this. And probably I haven't tried like that. ABC123. Still no account found with that username. So we didn't log in as the SQL injection. So as we saw before, we had our SQL injection once we signed up as that user with the SQL injection. So let's try to sign up as, let's say, non-existent. And like this, we're gonna close the single quote or 1 equal 1. And the password ABC123. ABC123. I'm gonna copy that, save it, and we got an internal server error. So probably it's not correct. So I would add one here, ABC123. So I can get to perp and make that sign up, but I prefer to test manually. Let's try to log in. So we are okay. Now we got that. So we are logged in as, that's strange, as this user, but as you can see, these are not our nodes. So let's check them one by one. Do we have any more buttons? No. So Mimi, sticky buns, ingredients, okay, instructions. Do we have any password over here? No. Let me copy the text and them text. And I will grab that or cat that, it's better. Grab dash I, pass, maybe user. So that's the message that we have. Maybe something related to Tyler. So okay, now we have, please contact Tyler using the contact link below with any questions. And we have a password. That's interesting. This might be a password. I'm gonna copy that into here. Let's get back. So, new site. Since we have a new site, maybe we should enumerate vhost. Let me enumerate DNS. Okay, so we need the domain name over here. Okay, but we can enumerate vhost, but I don't think that our way in. So SecNotes HackTheBox dash new site. I think that's only over here. Let's try. So secnotes.hackthebox. Let me add that into our Etsy host. And check that. New dash site. HTTP. So it's not found. Probably it's not deployed. Or maybe it's an SMB stuff. So let's try to authenticate with SMB. NXC, SMB, username is gonna be Tyler. Or actually, you know what? Let me export that. Export all. User is equal to Tyler. Export all. Pass equal this password. And I'm going to put that into single quotation. And NXC, SMB. Please try this pass. And this user. And fingers crossed that we got, yeah, but it's not bound, so maybe let's try with, we don't have WinRM, so that's a closed way. Maybe let's try with authenticated SMB, and I'm going to remove the domain. It's going to be the pass only, the user only, and probably we can get the usernames, the shares that we have, and so on. So we have IBC new site. So this is the new site that they were talking on about, more precisely. Let me check with SMB client. So here we're still in the same folder, SMB client, IB, new site, dash user Tyler, and the password failed. Probably because it was new dash site. Yep. Over here. And we're in directory. So we have two folders over here. IIS. Okay, so IIS, that the folder we have over here, so we can upload and get a reverse shell. That's great. Let's try to upload something. Exit. So we have vim test.txt. I'm gonna try. So it's a Windows machine. That's an ASP. So I'm gonna start with a text hi and SMB client. Maybe it's put. And over here. So I got that. That's interesting. Let's try a reverse shell for ASP. Oops. So I'm going to take my notes again, which we need post exploitations, not here, ref shells, ASP. So with IIS we can make this or this. So here we see we can take this as well. Let's try with the casual one. I'm gonna close my notes again and get back into here. So let me close this. Vim rev shell dot aspx, paste this, and let me upload that. Put rev shell dot aspx, close this, closing this. So I closed the website. So directory not found. Let me try again. refshell.aspx. That's strange. Let me try with the txt. test.txt. Maybe probably we don't have code execution, so it's removing the .aspx, so we don't have a reverse shell. Let's try with .php, which I don't think that our case would be. Left shell.php and try to connect again with SMB client, put rev shell, and here we see an internal server, so we can access the stuff but we cannot execute them. Okay, so probably that's a dead end, or maybe we need to play with the extensions, but I don't think that's our way in because it's gonna be extremely hard. So let's stick to that. So we have SMB access. Let's try to sign in. Let me use this extension, Firefox multi-account container. So I'm going to take the SecNotes and try to sign in with Tyler credentials. So Tyler, and over here the credentials that we got. Nah, that's not the password. Okay, so that was SMB password. So what we have here as well. So SecNotes, nothing interesting. Let's change his password to something I know. ABC123, ABC123. And let me check, would we go to the same path? So it's gonna be a post request, the same parameters, submit. I'm gonna check that, send that into repeater. Gonna send that and follow the redirection. What do we have here? Okay, so password updated. Or maybe we are updating not Tyler's password, but our password, the SQL injection password. Let's check. I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna cancel that for a minute. Hacker detected, okay. So probably that was... where was it? Let's try, oops. Again with here. Personal. Paste the IB. And in here I'm gonna try Tyler. ABC123. ABC123. Nah, so we are not changing Tyler. That was only through the SQL injection we got all these notes. Okay, let's check the SMB. Are we finished with that? So SS is useless. We have new site over here. Okay, nothing interesting over here. Then let's get back to here. So probably we are stuck with change password and contact us. So let me check contact us again. ABC. We're gonna send that. We're sending to contact.php. Let me close all of that and send this. Nothing interesting. Follow redirection. And we have a get to home PHP. Let's get back. Let me drop this and change password. ABC123, ABC123. Intercept that. Send that. Do we have the same stuff? So here, contact PHP, change password. We see we have only submit. Usually I would add some more extra fields and check them, change the values of submit, or try to get the PHP session ID. So that's what we are stuck in with. So let's try actually with a repeater, and let's try send the message to us. Maybe we can get back something. So I'm gonna netcat to port 80, and here I'm gonna say HTTP. What's our IP? IPA grab tunnel 0 10 10 14 31 10 10 14 31, and let's try check. I'm gonna provide T. Oops. So it won't close, and ABC, no connection. Let me try over here. $31, and try again. Still nothing. Can we follow the redirection, please? Nothing interesting. Okay, let's get back. And let's get back. Now I'm going to switch the request method to get over here. Nothing. Get over here. Nothing. Okay, so let me try now with sudo python http server. Let me follow the redirection. And let me send this. Still nothing. So, okay. So we are finished with this. We don't have anything interesting to get an administrator token, and we have everything related to Tyler. So I'm gonna sign out, and I'm gonna stick to this. So let me get back again, and SMB client to here. Do we still have our stuff? They are deleted. Let me get them and put my ref shell again. Try to reach the ref shell. So it's an internal server error. Maybe the syntax I have is wrong. So PHP system request cmd. I believe that's right. Let me stay here and try with perp intercept, refresh, and let me add over here cmd who am I. Okay, so we have code execution. That's great. So I failed the first time because I saw the 500 and I thought it's a dead end, but obviously that's our way in. Interesting. So maybe you might think that we've wasted our time testing the website, but at least we tested the website and got some experience with pen testing, which is our goal. And we have a code execution over here. So let me get a shell. So probably I would need to upload netcat to here. Can we try to connect through maybe? Let's try actually. I'm gonna try to connect through PowerShell. So I have this one-liner. And hopefully we would make it. Probably not, because we need URL encoding. So 4444. I'm gonna stick to 446, the most unsuspicious port, and here I'm gonna remove the T. 446 netcat running 10 10 14 14 what IPA grab 31. And probably here we're gonna get an error. So badly formatted. Let me encode this, or probably just, yeah, we need to URL encode. So I'm gonna keep the PowerShell. Still, so here like this. Did we get a ref shell? Nah, what have we here? A server error, file not found. Okay, let me get the reverse shell over here. Probably we had the file deleted, put ref shell. Now we have that. Let me send that again. Do we have a ref shell? No, we don't. Oops. So that's not gonna work. Let me try now with SMF Venom. So I'm gonna put that here, SF Venom. So I'm just testing right now. I don't want to rush the box. Interpreter, reverse TCP, 10.10.14, but it's not .png, .aspx, 446, and here 10.10.14.31, I believe. Let me check. I'm gonna put that here, IB grab tunnel 0, 31. Here we have our netcat running. And here msfdb run. And okay, that's saved. Let me foreground ls put shell.aspx. I'm not gonna put that right yet. I'm going to get the interpreter over here. So I'm going to use multi-handler, search multi, okay, handler, it's not here, probably search handler. Oh my gosh, I believe it was multi handler. So yeah, that's better now. Which one? None of those. I believe it was use exploit multi handler. So that's it. Show options. We have generic one, reverse TCP. Okay, for now, set GL host done 0, set GL port 443, and run for now. Let me put that. Let me try to reach that through the ASPX, and we got not found. Do we have a shell? So why did we start on 444? Set. Okay. Now we say run. Running on 443. We got, I believe, let me check over here. Where is it? Where is it? So it's running on 446, not 443. Let me get close. 446. And now run. 10.10.14.31. So hopefully now everything would be correct. What's happening? It's already in use. Okay. So probably because we have netcat running on that port. Now run. And let me check over here. I'm gonna put that again, and so it's not ref shell, it's only shell. That didn't work. So we are sure that we have that shell over here, but it's not running that. Okay, that's okay. So I'm gonna try this shell. Let me just copy paste that. Vim shell.aspx, or no, I'm gonna vim web shell, let's say, .aspx. Let me stop this, exit that, and here put webshell.aspx and try to reach that over here. So not found, and we need to execute that in repeater. Let me duplicate that, and here webshell.aspx. Who am I? So it's not found. So probably only the PHP is running over here. So our stack is a PHP. I'm not going to test any ASPX anymore. So let me get netcat then over here. It was great testing all the stuff. And copy. Home, Windows, executables. I have the netcat right over there, waiting for me to copy it. And foreground again, put nc, put nc.exe, put, what was it? Shell.txt, I believe. Refshell.php, okay. So put refshell.php and go over here. I need to upload netcat to execute netcat. So executing netcat.exe since we are on the same directory, and execute please for me cmd.exe 10 10 14 31 on port 446. Do we have netcat? Now we have, and it's a bad request. Why? Let me check. So refshell.php, can we reach, can we reach that? Maybe I haven't executed that in the first place. So maybe now. So we have that refshell.php. Let me try with who am I. So if we got, yeah, so probably we need to control U, and we got our shell. So we needed to URL encode that. Who am I? We are SecNotes Tyler. So first of all, we can start by enumeration with who am I dash all, and we see we don't have any privileges over here. Interesting. And let me get again my notes to show you my methodology. So it keeps changing because of course I'm improving over time, but I would start with who am I dash all. I would always type directory dash force, shout out to Tyler Ramsey for that, and I will enumerate everything within the user that we have, then check the program files and the public, and check the history. Let me start with the history actually. So I'm going over here, and probably, so we don't have the gc command. Let me get that again, and we need to import this first. So we cannot import the PowerShell stuff. Let me check the user. So actually we could start with the inetpub enumerating over there, but let me check over here. Directory, if I entered that correctly. So we have PHP, we have int.pub, distros. Let's try with distros. That's gonna be interesting. Distros. Ubuntu. Okay. So I cannot type correctly what's happening over here. So we don't have anything. Let me change. So directory -force is not working over here. So we see we have already ubuntu.exe, we have Windows Subsystem Linux, and let's cd into users. Here is our Tyler. Let me change to him, and we see a php.history, type.php history. It's a empty file. We see SecNotes underscore contacts. Let's check that. Check message and check message.ps1. Let's check that. Check message.ps1. Type check messages.ps1. And here we might see something interesting. So we have here our local host. Maybe we need for port forwarding. And we see basic parsing stuff. MySQL. Do we have MySQL over here? No, that's probably for the login. That's the password probably. Okay, right host, opening file, change password. So that's our way in was. Okay, nothing interesting over here. Let's get back. Let me change to desktop. And we see a lot of stuff over here. Windows PowerShell as well. Let me type the user.txt and copy that into our notes. Not our notes, but I believe you got me right. Let me take that back again and put that into here. So next, let me check again. In users, we have new sites. We can enumerate them later, but here we saw distros and we see ubuntu.zip. So we have definitely Windows subsystem for Linux. So how to enumerate that? First, I would search for where dash reverse in C. Oops. Where reverse in C Windows for Windows subsystem for Linux.exe. Do we have that? I'm gonna pause a little bit and unpause when it finishes. So I had this directory and it's still searching. And it finished. So we have in this path our Windows subsystem for Linux. Let's try to run that. How can we? We would just take that. Maybe no. Maybe let's try. Okay, it ran already. we need just to type at the end who am I, so I'm gonna type that again. Let me copy that and put it over here, and who am I at the end. Okay, what's happening over here? So we have bash, who am I, directory. So we see ourselves probably inside Linux, so we are root inside Linux, so we executed this. Once we are root, let's try and change into program files or to users directory, cd into administrator. So we don't have any permission over here, so we can now start enumerating as Windows as Linux enumeration. So this is my Windows enumeration again. I'm gonna go back a step and start from here. So I would start from with environment, then history. Then let me do that, environment and history. Environment, let me check the environment. Do we have anything suspicious? We have old password was within administrator, that's great. Old print working directory, I mean, but the current one is within users. Okay, let's check history. What's happening? It lagged. History. Let me exit that and check with netcat again. I probably need to put the ref shell. It's connected. Let me check with SMB. Maybe the internet went down. Put ref shell.php. Send that. We got over here. Let me. Did we copy that? So I'm gonna keep that like this. Gonna connect. Who am I? Root. That's great. So we tried environment. Now let's try history. It didn't work. That's great. Let's move on with the enumeration ls-la. Oops, ls-la etc shadow. So we can read that, but we cannot edit that. Let me check again cat etc shadow. So we have root. We are not interested in anything else. Let me check netstat tunnel p. We don't have anything. Let me try again. With I'm gonna search for the bash.exe instead of the Windows subsystem Linux. I'm gonna send that. Are we getting any reverse shells? Not yet. Putting reverse shell, sending that, and we got now. So I'm gonna search for the bash. So we have the bash over there. Let me copy that. So my issue that we don't have an interactive shell, which is frustrating. As you can see, the output is not clearly booted and we cannot do anything. So history, it's not showing us any error or anything. So I believe we can make a reverse shell. Let me make a netcat over here and over here again. So I'm going to make a reverse shell over here. Let's build it together. So to start with, I'm gonna get my Linux over here. Let me check. So I'm gonna get that over here, big screen, and where are our reverse shells? Over here, and I'm gonna get a Python one. So this is the best one that I have. Let me get that out of our way. So we start with Python 3, the sockets, 10, 14, 31, and here I need to provide 447. Let me edit that to 447 and 1431, and gonna copy that into the Windows subsystem Linux. So we would copy the full path. Let me check the path that we had over here. I'm gonna copy this. So you can take, I believe, either the the bash or the Windows subsystem Linux, so they are both identical. And let me copy that into here. And after bash.exe, we're gonna execute this Python command. So we need just to take this, put that in front of this, and copy paste that into here. Cannot execute binary file. Maybe let's try with the Windows subsystem. We might get a better result. If not, then I'm gonna try another rev shell. So just remove this because they are in a separate directory, so I don't need to mess with that, and get that again. And we got our stuff, we got a reverse shell. So let's start enumerating again. Actually, with our enumeration, I'm gonna start with stable. Do we have a stable? Let me check stable. I'm going to take this, put that into here, and you can get that from my GitHub. I'm just stabilizing. I don't want to Control Z. I believe for now that's okay. And let me get my Linux privilege escalation methodology. So I always start with environment. Now we get a better result. We see the colors. Okay, nothing interesting. Next I have history. And voila, here we see our history. So we see that's great. An SMB client administrator connection. So let me get that. And let's check if that really an SMB administrator. So here SMB client dash IB. I'm going to remove this and to keep this. So probably like this. Have I copied that correctly? Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely an administrator. So export user2 administrator, export bus2 this bus. I'm gonna remove this. So the percent is within the SMB client syntax. Don't be confused. And NXC user2 pass2. And let's wait and see. So we are authenticating and bound. Easy peasy. So we can sign in with psexec .py dash, I believe, p for password, pass2 administrator at IB. So no, dash p is not for password. I believe pass is gonna be, actually let's check dash help. So do we have anything for the pass? We have no pass, we have Kerberos, DCIP. Let me check, maybe we're gonna be prompted for a password. Yeah, of course. And let me get the password again. from where? From here. Gonna copy that until the percent into here, and probably we got a shell as an administrator. So the root, don't forget and don't be so advised that we have root over here. The root that we have over here is within the Windows subsystem Linux, but we cannot read because as if we are in a container, but it's not a container really. It's not a Docker container, but we cannot read the administrator files and stuff. We are limited. Unlike here, we are anti-authority system. So while I'm going to get the flag, please guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section if you need anything or if you have any question. So cd into users directory, cd into administrator, and then desktop, and type root.txt. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.